Hello everybody and welcome to This Week in Astrology with your friend Gretchen Heidel, full-time astrologer, life coach, Reiki master, and so much more. I'm here tonight live. It's Monday. It's our Monday night date on August 21st, 2023, and I'm going over This Week in Astrology. There's a lot of stuff going on this week, and I will be talking about all kinds of Mercury Retrograde, Virgo season, all kinds of things we have going on this week in astrology. So some of these things go beyond the forecast of just this 1 week. So welcome. If you are just joining me live, go ahead and post below your astrological sign, where you're tuning in from. If you're on YouTube or if you're on Facebook, I know that I have people that watch both. I'm live on Facebook every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, or I post the replay after the fact. I don't qualify yet to have live broadcasts on YouTube, and that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to get people who subscribe to my channel up, because they let you do different things if you get more subscribers. So welcome. Hello, Kelly. Thank you for posting. Emily, yay, from New York this week. Okay, Sagittarius, Cancer, Scorpio. Kelly, Gemini, upstate New York. Welcome on Facebook. Christy and Terry, Aquarius from New York. Oh, we have a lot of New Yorkers here tonight. Christy, also Capricorn from New York. Welcome. Love seeing you guys. So we have a lot going on this week in astrology. Astrologically speaking. So let me just kind of give you the broad overview. We have a bunch of planetary transits. We have two big oppositions this week. Yikes, oppositions are just what they sound like. If you're opposite, it's challenging. So there's that. We have the start of Virgo season. Yay! So welcome Virgos that are in the house, if anybody has any Virgo in their astrological chart. Also, unfortunately, Mercury retrograde in Virgo as well. Starting, we have the first quarter or second quarter lunar cycle. That's happening. We have Mars switching signs, okay, astrologically as well. So we have a lot of things going on, so you don't want to miss. And I brought a map, because what in the heck is going on with Hawaii and California and all that? So we're going to show you what's going on in the world of astrology in that zone, because you better believe it, there's a ton of energy off of the west coast of the United States. So you don't want to miss that as well. So go ahead, post below, make sure you like the broadcast, because that gets it rolling in the algorithm. And definitely, if you have any friends, forward this to a friend, because it's very helpful. You might find the information to be helpful, and your friend will too. Okay, so I'm going to just dive in, because I have so much. Andrea, welcome. Aries, Sarah, Aquarius, yay. Pamela, how are you doing? Almir, Taurus from Vermont, welcome. Okay, so we're starting this week off kind of well, I guess, if you want to say. Today on Monday, but then it very much switches, and there's a lot of, remember when I talk about these dates, these are the peak dates, so we feel it preceding the peak dates, 1, 2, 3, or 4 days before the peak of the thing. So unfortunately, this one thing is already kind of in the past, it's already over, but it peaked today at 12:54 a.m. Eastern time, and that's the sun forming a trine with the north node of the moon. Now, if you're somebody who right now is feeling or experiencing any kind of challenges, sorry, I'm adjusting my camera up here for YouTube. It's starting to like tilt a little bit. If you're experiencing any kind of challenges, there's still this energy which is active. Sun trine north node of the moon basically is about succeeding, aligning with your goals, dreaming big, doing something that has like a lot of, like something forward in your life towards your goals. And so this is a very positive thing. And even if there's some challenge going on for you right now, because there's a lot of challenge going on in the backdrop, especially in astrology right now, there's a lot of challenging alignments this week. I'm not going to lie. I mean, there's a little bit of challenge. We have this golden bright star. It's like the North Star. So if you think about the North Star of the North node of the moon is like kind of like your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations, your destiny, what you're meant to do here in this life. And with the sun forming a trine with the North Star, the trine means positive. Aries is the sun, is the North Node, and then the sun is in Leo. So they're both fire signs. So we're asked to be kind of remembering what's our heart's desire, what's our hopes, goals, dreams, aspirations. And it's kind of like, let's get on it, okay? And so every time the sun is in a fire sign, it's going to be aligning in a beautiful way with this Aries North Node, and that's get something done. That's time to get something done. So this is a little pocket or a little bubble. Again, the peak of it was kind of overnight between Sunday and Monday today. But it's still in the air. So even though there might be some challenge, this thing is saying don't give up on your hopes, your goals, your dreams, your aspirations. Even though there's a lot of muckety muck and kind of going on, this is saying don't give up. So I like this planetary alignment, and this is something that we need to remember. So if you are a Sagittarius, if you're an Aries, if you're a Leo, you will be feeling this energy for sure. If you are in the cardinal signs, again, you're going to be feeling it, and that's Aries, Libra, Capricorn, and Cancers. So we have a lot of good stuff going on right now with the North Node. The North Node is just always, remember your dreams, you remember your destiny, and all that good stuff. Hey, Sylvia from New York. We have a lot of New Yorkers on tonight. That's awesome. Ashley, okay, Sagittarius Sun. You're not late, Ashley. You're right pretty much where I'm just starting. And Debbie, Aries from Florida. Welcome, welcome. So if you're feeling this is something we gotta go towards our goals, our dreams, our aspirations, and saying don't give up. Make sure that we are really focusing on that, because Tuesday, tomorrow on August 22nd, we have some challenge coming. And the challenge, and again, when I say it's coming tomorrow, it's really, we're feeling it right now. Remember, I don't know why my phone, it keeps, I'm recording for YouTube and it keeps drooping down. We have Venus forming a square with Jupiter, and that's coming on Tuesday. That's the peak on Tuesday, but we're feeling it right now. And that square is not really too bad. Venus square Jupiter, Venus is retrograde right now in Leo, and then Jupiter is in Taurus. Okay, so that's like, don't push your luck. That's basically too much of a good thing, or don't push your luck, or don't sort of be kind of lazy or indulgent. Sometimes with Venus square Jupiter, we just want to take a nap, we just want to eat a bunch of snacks, we want to drink a bunch of drinks. It's always about a little bit too much overindulgence, but it's not a terrible thing. It's out of all the squares, whenever Venus and Jupiter square each other, it's not too bad. It's more of like too much of a good thing. If anything, it's kind of about overindulgence. But the thing that's kind of a little wonky is tomorrow. Again, on the peak of it is tomorrow, but we're feeling it now. We're feeling it Sunday, even Saturday. Is Mars is in the end of Virgo and is forming its opposition with Neptune in Pisces. Neptune is retrograde, if you remember. That's about telling the truth. Remember, Neptune retrograde is all about finding out the truth, exposing lies, all that kind of stuff, which I had predicted, a while ago. And we have some stuff going on in the United States right now in politics. I am so sorry. I have to lean forward and adjust my camera again. I don't know what's happening. So Mars opposing Neptune, the height or the peak of it is going to be, again, tomorrow. So that one is not a wonderful opposition. It is good. Okay, there's a couple of people on here that are saying they're feeling very energetic and motivated. This is almost the opposite of that. So the Sun trine the North Node of the Moon, that thing that was today, that's very motivated. But this thing, this Mars opposing Neptune, can actually zap some of that. That can take the wind out of our sail a little bit. That can make us feel very tired. It can make us feel creative. So if you work in creative energy, creative fields, you will be aligning more with creative energy and having a flow. Or if you're a yoga instructor, or if you're, you know, doing something that's like a little bit less like not accounting, not engineering, like you're doing something that's more flowy and free flowing and creative. This is more aligned with that. But Mars is opposing Neptune. Mars is go, 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 and Neptune is no, no, no. Like it's, so these two are not on the same page right now. They're not getting along very well. And it's really just a problem, you know. I mean, like these two, when they oppose each other, luckily it only happens once every 2 years, so that's a good thing. But it's really definitely something that is causing sort of some issues. I think it's causing issues with my camera right now because I can't get this thing to stay up. That's what she said. Ha ha ha. I know. I made the joke. But that's basically what's the problem. And it's funny because Neptune's is camera. Neptune is lies, illusions, delusions, and it is retrograde. Somebody said, when is it being done being retrograde? I mean, it just started last month. It's going to be a few more months, Emily, because it's retrograde for about 5 months or so out of the year. So I don't know exactly the date because it goes out beyond, let me just see, I think it goes beyond my calendar. Yeah, I'll have to put it in the show notes, Emily, because I don't have that memorized, but I just know it's a good long while, and it kind of just, we're in the beginning stages, so it's a few months, okay? And so I like Neptune retrograde. It's my favorite retrograde, okay? So that can be a good thing. Hey, Rita Virgo from Colorado. Melinda, welcome from Vermont. I have a lot of people commenting here. Yes, Ashley said, is Jupiter in Taurus? Yes, Jupiter's in Taurus all year. Yeah, so this is something that's going to be good and positive. And if you think about Venus squaring Jupiter, that can be positive, right? Because Jupiter is going retrograde soon too. So just so you know, right now it's like roughly it's about 7 planets are going, including Mercury retrograde. It's going to be 7 planets, and then next month it's going to be 8 planets retrograde. We have a lot of planetary things, and a lot of people are saying, well, I'm not making forward progress. I feel like I'm slowed down. I feel like I'm not doing much. But I will say that definitely, with all these retrograde planets going on, it is something that, you know, it can hold us back a little bit, but it's because we're supposed to be doing homework. We're supposed to be doing behind the scenes. We're supposed to be doing preparatory planning. We're not ready yet to come out with the big, you know, thing. We're like scheming and planning behind the scenes. Ashley said, yes, focus on creative projects. That's awesome. Andrea said, yes, very sleepy today. Accidentally took, oh no, melatonin this morning instead of your vitamin. That is very Mars opposing Neptune right now. I know my poor little dog Bear, who's a pug, we were out this morning and he got stung by a yellow jacket. And I gave that little dude some Benadryl, and he's been sleepy all day. I felt so bad for him, but I just wanted to, because he got bit right here, like kind of like the temple area above his eye, and I didn't want it to swell or cause anaphylaxis or any kind of thing. So I gave my little guy some Benadryl, and he's been sleepy today. So yeah, that can be very sleepy energy. And so, you know, with this Mars opposing Neptune, so if anybody out there has Pisces or has Virgo in their chart, you will be in the heart of that. And this is like, it's too bad that we can't do life according to planets in some ways, because it's a Tuesday and we're supposed to be functioning, and it's a work day, and we're supposed to be slaying dragons and stuff. Really, if we did things by the planets, all employers would say, let's just take a siesta. Let's take a nap. Let's meditate and pray and do yoga and paint a picture and float and dream and imagine. That would be ideally what we could do. So if you're a lucky person that can do that during this time, then that's great. You're all set. You're in the planetary alignment. But if you're not, then we have to work. You know, maybe get a little extra sleep tonight. I have been having crazy visitation dreams lately. And I really feel like this is partially, like, Neptune is very good for dream work. if you guys ever do any kind of dream work where you're dreaming of either having a visitation dream. By the way, I had somebody say something to me today, so it's like reminding me to say this on the broadcast. The person said, I've been having a lot of dreams about people that I know on the other side, but they're not deceased, they're alive. And so a visitation dream is where a soul visits you who has deceased, like a deceased loved one. But you can still have a form of a visitation dream with people who are alive, who are in our lives. And that can be a soul to soul working together on the ethereal. So sometimes, like, it might even be somebody who's an ex or a difficult person in your life. And you're like, why in the heck am I dreaming about them? You know, like, that can be because the soul to soul, they're working together on the other side. So I just wanted to say that because all this dream stuff with Neptune is totally like in the zone. So if you're having any kind of dreams like that or weird dreams or feeling whatever, that's why. And so that's something that is good to remember. Kelly said work for the state, right? maybe they need an astrological advisor so that they know that, okay, well, this will be a low productivity day for employees when Mars opposes Neptune. And I said just tomorrow, so just so you know, the peak of the Venus square Jupiter is going to be at 8:16 a.m. Eastern time. That's the peak, the height, and the pinnacle of it. And then the peak and the height of the Mars opposing Neptune is 3:34 p.m. Eastern time. Both those are Eastern time. So it's tomorrow, right? On Tuesday, August 22nd. And that's basically when we'll start to gain energy after these sort of release, but it's just a lot. Andrea said a lot of dreams about your recently deceased doggy. Yes, exactly. This is because it's a good time. I've been having visitation dreams all weekend. I'm really tired from it. When I dream a lot, I call it working in my sleep. And if I'm working in my sleep and I'm receiving messages while I'm sleeping, I often wake up tired because I feel like my soul is busy, you know, like kind of doing some different things. I'm hoping to ask my angels for a little bit of a break so that I can actually get Gretchen restorative sleep instead of working on the other side and connecting. Rosalie, ding, 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 first stars of the evening. Thank you so much. 50 stars. I'm not sure if that's from you or your grandson, but if he's there, tell him I said thank you. That's awesome. Okay, thank you and welcome, Rosalie, Capricorn from Vermont. Yay! We have a bunch of Capricorns, it seems like, on as well. So that's going to be coming tomorrow. And then another sort of sleepy thing, I don't know about you guys, but I kind of experience when right before Mercury starts going retrograde, I experience that. So if you think about Mercury slows way down. Remember the analogy of a car. So first of all, what's a retrograde? Very briefly, it's where the ancients sort of observed from the sky that it looked like all of a sudden the planets switched and went backward. This is an optical illusion. It doesn't actually go backward. Though we use that language in astrology when we're talking, but I just want to say for the record, because I have some people that like type below, but I thought that was not, you know, blah, blah. Okay, so it doesn't actually go backward, but it's an optical illusion, but that's what we call retrograde because the planets kind of, because of the their orbits, they change, and that's what makes it look like it switches, but it doesn't. So how it looks is that the planet starts to slow way down. It stops. That's stationary retrograde. And then it slowly goes back. Okay, it's like a car. I always say you can't just slam it in reverse if you're going 90 miles an hour. You have to slow down, stop, and then go back, and then it stops again. That's stationary direct, and then it goes forward again. So we are in the stationary retrograde point. Mercury is not moving right now, and I always feel like we're going in slow motion. It's like when it starts doing that, that's how I feel. Now, if you are a Gemini or if you are a Virgo, this is your ruling planet. So if you have planets in either Gemini or Virgo, That's going to be something that's affecting you because this is the planet that powers you. So your ruling planet right now is slowing down, and that can make us literally feel like we're slowing down. It's like all of a sudden everything you had in the works, and you're moving and you're shaking and you're slaying dragons and you're doing all the stuff, and then all of a sudden you have to wait. Like, that's kind of the way it is. I have a lot of clients right now that have been contacting me, and they've been saying, like, I'm waiting for this, I'm waiting for that, I'm waiting for the state to approve this, or the thing to approve that, like whatever thing it is. And so we're all just waiting. And that's kind of the way it is when Mercury goes stationary retrograde. Now, the actual retrograde itself starts on Wednesday, and that's going to be 3:49 p.m. Eastern time. So 12:49 p.m. if you're out on the West Coast on Pacific Daylight Savings Time. And so it's something that we all just have to kind of be patient with. It is in Virgo. Now, remember, Mercury is going to be in Virgo for a long time because of the retrograde. So Mercury retrograde goes 3 weeks, 3 times a year. I know it feels like more. Everybody's like, has it been retrograde for like 12 weeks now? I'm like, no, just 3 weeks. It's 3 weeks, 3 times a year. But it's basically in Virgo. So the whole bubble, the whole time Mercury is going to be in Virgo is July 28th all the way until October 4th. Usually Mercury is in each sign for like 2 to 3 weeks. That's it. And it's like zippy. It's zippy. But now that it's sitting in Virgo, it's going to be hunkered down because of the retrograde, and it's going, you know, doing all its thing, where it looks like it's backwards and forwards and all that. So it's like hovering, and we're getting an extra long time of Mercury in Virgo. So where is Mercury in Virgo in your chart? Where's Virgo? What house is Virgo in? Do you have planets in Virgo? Do you have your sun, moon, rising sign, Venus, Mars, whatever, or Mercury? Whatever thing it is, you need to know what's going on in the Virgo zone. Now, if you don't know, you're like, hey, I don't really know those things, and I don't know. How do you get along with Virgo? How do you do during Virgo season? So Virgo season roughly is August, 21st, 23rd. This year it's the 23rd. Every year it's a little different, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, all the way until September. So is that something that's going on? Where is that in your chart? Now, people will often say to me, well, I don't even know that. I'm not sure. In the United States, we tended, at least back in the old days, now kids are going back to school earlier and earlier and earlier, like in June. It's crazy. It's like, oh, you had 1 minute off, now you're going back to school. But in the old times, we went back to school during Virgo season, okay? So how did you feel in Virgo season when you started school every year? Historically, how did that feel for you? I often use that as an example when I'm doing readings in someone's chart when I talk about Virgo, because it's like, oh, Virgo's in this zone. Maybe it was a sleepy time for you. Maybe it was an extroverted time for you. Maybe it was an anxious time for you. And so you need to know kind of where Virgo is in your astrological chart in order to know how this will affect you. But these are all clues that I'm giving you, even if you don't know your personal chart, that you can be able to watch this broadcast and go, oh yeah, first week or so of school, it was a little rough, or I was excited and I was, it was like new. I was just talking to somebody the other day, and they said that every year going back to school for them was like a new year. It was like almost like a celebrating time. And I was like, yeah, because for you personally, Virgo is your rising sign. So of course it's like a new beginning, like you're getting, everything leaves the 12th house and goes into the first house, and that's Virgo. So you have to know what's going on. So if you have Virgo rising, this could be your new beginning, like to new year for you. And so that's the thing. So we have Virgo season starting on the same day as Mercury retrograde. So that's August 23rd, that's Wednesday, and that starts at 5:01 a.m. Eastern time. The sun moves into the astrological sign of Virgo, and then later Mercury starts going retrograde in Virgo at 3:59 p.m. Eastern time. So you can see we're in Virgoville. We're in Virgo land right now. And so we're entering into, now Virgo usually is an uber productive sign. Usually Virgo is very chop, get it done, go to work, get things done, get my checklist and check. But because of this Mars in Virgo opposing Neptune, and then we have this Mercury retrograde slowing down and kind of feeling wonky, we might not feel as zippy as we usually do in Virgo. Like usually it's like, let's get stuff done. And it might not feel quite that way. We might have a little bit of a slower start. Kelly, so second house Virgo, that means money. Kelly, so for you, remember, Mercury retrograde is all about things returning, or us reviewing, or us reorganizing, or us reevaluating, or us doing something with R-E, okay? And so Kelly said second house Virgo's money, so you could get money back. Returning, money might be returning to you. Wendy said sixth house. Sixth house is health, so you might be wanting to start working out, or start drinking smoothies, or doing something where you're revisiting a health habit or a healthy routine or a healthy something or other. So that can be something with Wendy, that you're feeling. Hey Susu, welcome. She said Virgo is my moon. So yeah, so now we're returning to emotions. Mercury on the moon can be all about emotions, okay? Kelly said, good, I need the money. That's perfect. Ashley Ann said, oh wow, you were always the start of the new year tackling checklists and killing it. Yeah, I mean, and it makes sense. We're, us starting school season, we're starting to start earlier and earlier. I mean, I know that some kids were going back in July, and I'm like, that's Cancer season or Leo season. Whenever they're going back, that doesn't feel right. We should go back during Virgo season, because if you think about Virgo, it's like making the list, being a perfectionist. I'm gonna cure my whole life, and I'm gonna get a new organizer and a planner. I'm gonna have a new lunchbox for school, like whatever thing we were doing, right? Like we were gonna start fresh. We were gonna get, or this is the year that we are getting organized. That's Virgo season. And so, and then, you start the school year off high, and then it would start to, unravel as time went on. But, you're going to go to Staples or someplace and get all your fun little gadgets and things. That's so Virgo. And so if you think about Virgo is the planner, the organizer, the get things done, the humble servant. Actually, Virgo is the ruler of the sixth house. Wendy was, as a matter of sixth house. So if you think about the sixth house is healthy habits, daily habits, year to year, get things done, all of that stuff. Ashley said, if you're rising sign Taurus, I can't figure that out on the broadcast right now. But yeah, so you just need to know where that would be in your personal astrological chart. But if you don't know, how do you feel in Virgo time, or how do you feel about Virgos in your life? Like friends, family members that are Virgos, how do you get along with them? And so you'll know kind of how Virgo season will affect you. But we have this additional element of Mercury retrograde being in Virgo season. So Virgo season this year, like I said, starts on August 23rd, and it does go all the way until September 23rd of 2023. And by the way, September 23rd is the fall equinox, so we're 1 month away from the fall equinox. Now, Virgo is a mutable sign, and remember that the mutable signs are identified by where they are in northern hemisphere of the world here, where they are in relation to seasons. So this is a transitional season. That's what mutable means. We're in a transitional season. So we're kind of ending the summer, deal, because that's Leo. Leo is a fixed sign, and it's in the middle or the heart of summer. And then we're transitioning into the fall. And so that's what Virgo season is where we're starting to be mutable. We're starting to go with the flow. We're starting to transition into these different seasons, and that's basically what the deal is. So if you are a Virgo, you will feel this, but also too, all the mutables will feel this. Okay, so Virgo and Pisces again. Here we are, Virgo and Pisces. or even Sagittarius and Gemini are all the mutables. And so this is the time when you're activated, you'll be, all your mutable energy will be activated. And this is a time of transition. That's always transitional time. Virgo in the 5th house, yeah, so that's love and that's creativity and all that good stuff. So you might be revisiting. Remember, we're revisiting something with Mercury retrograde. We are revisiting something. Yes, I saw some leaves. Somebody posted on that broadcast that she saw some leaves starting to change here in Vermont. Yes, so that is something that's happening. Wendy said, your mother is a Virgo, lives with you, complete opposites. Yes, you're an Aquarius. Yes, well, you guys are not opposites. You guys are something called it's a funny sounding word in astrology, but it's called a quincunx. Meaning that you have nothing in common in a way. Aquarius and Virgo doesn't have much in common. Quincunx is what that's called, where you're different. You're not the same modality. You're not the same element. You're different, and so that's what that means, Wendy. So in a sense, you are opposites, but that's what it's called, is quincunx in astrology. At least your sun signs are. We don't know. I don't know what the rest of your stuff is here. Kelly said, your whole family's mutable. Holy wow, that's a lot. Even your ex-husband, she said. Okay, we'll see. Yeah, mutables tend to hang out with other mutables, but it's not always easy. Sometimes we need to have a mixture of elements, because sometimes that can, or modalities. I mean, that sometimes that can help, like if one person's a leader, another one's a follower, like whatever, like it's kind of helps to have. So if you have all mutables, it'd be like, I don't know, what do you want to do? I don't know what you want to do. Everybody's kind of going with the flow and overly flexible, and so that can be a thing. Now, Virgo is an earth sign, so this is a good time to ground. And I had somebody message me today and ask me about an archangel that is associated with Virgo, and that archangel is Metatron. I was praying to Metatron today earlier. Archangel Metatron, just so that you remember, is associated with kind of time. If you're sort of running late, or if you have obstacles around you or some kind of a thing and you want to get free flowing, Archangel Metatron is a great archangel to pray to. And I'll tell you, Metatron, I talked a lot to Metatron, so I feel like me and Metatron are like this, I have a good working relationship with my angels. I always tell people, look, no matter when you pray, you're going to get help. But especially when you have like an established connection with the other side, I feel like it helps. Like, not just praying when you're in dire straits. I don't know if you've ever heard the expression, there's no atheist in foxholes, meaning that if we just pray when we're in dire straits, it's like, it's good to have a good working relationship. They hear it, they will be on it. Trust me, they try to help. The spirit team, our guardian angels, our spirit guides, God, Allah, Buddha, Krishna, whoever you pray to is there to help us. But especially if you pray to the angels and you have a good working relationship with your spirit guides, I think it's like, I don't know, that connection is easier to sort of call upon. So I do talk to Metatron a lot. Metatron is all about kind of almost like in a similar way to like Ganesh, where it's like removing obstacles, but also helping to zip up time. So again, we're a little bit slow in time right now, even though the clock looks like it's beating normally, like ticking normally. We are slowed down a little bit because of the astrological energy, which is very wonky right now. The energy really is fully, it is a bit wonky. I'm just going to say that. I've had a lot of people going, what is going on? Like, they're pulling me aside and saying, this is crazy, and I'm like, oh, I know. But that's because we're in the heart of the retrograde season and we're reevaluating things, and it's a lot of layers of reevaluation. We got Chiron retrograde, Pluto retrograde, Saturn retrograde, Neptune retrograde. Now Mercury's going retrograde. On Monday, I'll give you guys a preview. I'll cover this next week, but on Monday, Uranus is going retrograde. on August 28th. So and then we're going to have Jupiter going retrograde on Monday, September 4th. So we have a lot of retrogrades right now. Venus is retrograde, oh my goodness, and that's a personal planet. So remember what I've said all this time. I kept talking about this since January, okay? Mercury and Venus are now going to be retrograde at the same time, overlapping each other for at least 2 weeks. So these two are personal planets, meaning they are the closest to the Earth. So now we're in a double personal planet retrograde. Yes, the outer planets are retrograde, but now we have two personal planets. So those two are going to overlap starting on Wednesday when this Mercury retrograde thing starts, all the way up until September 3rd when Venus goes direct. Now, Mercury is still going to be retrograde all the way until September 15th. And that's a Friday. And if you want to write it down, a lot of people like to have, things written down on the calendar or whatever. Mercury goes direct September 15th at 4:21 p.m. Eastern Time. So again, 1:21 p.m. if you're out on the West Coast. And so that's when Mercury retrograde will be over. But for 2 weeks, between August 23rd and September 3rd, we are going to be having this overlapping 2-week deal. And so, it's a lot. It's a lot. Oh, thank you, Rosalie. Ding, ding, ding. More stars. Oh, so Till, hello. Welcome. Archangel Uriel, is usually around you. Yes, that's a wonderful archangel as well. Yes. And Ashley Ann said, family full of Sagittarius as well. That would be a busy family. Jen said, hi Jen, welcome, Capricorn. This astro season has been exhausting, everything getting shut off and reviewed and this and that. Oh my gosh, yes, for sure. It has definitely been like that. Almir said, I was just about to say the same thing. Yeah, so I mean, it is, yeah, definitely I should mention that. Somebody said lights flickering. Yes, so it is technology for sure. It is lights. It's all kinds of things, because when Uranus is retrograde, it has a very similar vibe of Mercury retrograde. So it definitely is going to be affecting our technology, our cell phones, computers, cars, lights, electricity, all kinds of stuff. Uranus technically is the ruler of electricity. And then Mercury is the ruler of how we stay connected, which nowadays is, cell phones and whatever. It used to be probably carrier pigeons, but nowadays it's cell phones. So, it's definitely affecting us for sure. Wendy said, do you have one keyword for getting us through Venus and Mercury retrograde? Time for guidance. Well, one keyword for sure is patience. Having patience. There's no magic bullet here. We have to have just some patience with, okay, I have to do that. Now I have to redo that. I'm going to have to redo that too. It's like, we're going to be doing and redoing. And really, this is a great time. If you think of an upside, a great time for this is reviewing and trying something again and reviewing it again and trying it again. And Venus is pertaining to our love life. Mercury is pertaining to our connection and our communication. Oh la la, it's a lot. Angelica said alignment of our chakras. Yes, I love that. Oh my goodness. Last week you had 3 light bulbs blow out. Oh, you didn't tell me that. That's a lot of energy. That can be too much just coming out. You gotta watch that. Jen said you're praying to all the archangels and compelled to pray to Mary Magdalene and Jesus, which you never do. But you're just going with the flow. That's lovely. I love that. Yeah, there's no wrong person to pray to. I mean, really. Because I don't know. I mean, no matter what religion you are, there's always some, I call a lot of, and I don't mean it disrespectfully, but I call it like the figureheads, Krishna and Allah and Buddha and all the figureheads, they're all magical in some way, You're welcome, Wendy. She said, thank you for the input. Yes, you're welcome. But a lot of this is going to require a lot of patience. So that's all happening, and remember, exes can come back. Past work situations can come back, past whatever thing. This is all about the past. This is not a good time to start new things, to go on new ventures and all that stuff. whatever we already started, we can finish and wrap up and tweak and retweak and tweak again and take a dry run and tweak that. And, you know, it's all about tweaking and doing homework. It's not the time to initiate or start new things. And I always say this, if it's an elective procedure, personally, I do not advise having surgeries during this time. Now, if you have to, you have to. You know, I mean, like, we don't want to just be like, oh, you know, I know I'm bleeding, but you know, my astrologer says it's not a good time. No, you want to do an emergency if it's that. But if it's an elective procedure, or even if it's a dental procedure, any kind of thing like that, we want to wait until this is over. Sorry, dentists, but that's what I always tell people, is to wait until this is over. I don't even have my teeth cleaned usually during Mercury retrograde. I'm not as opposed to that, you know, but you know, if you think of Mercury, that's nerves. That's nerves. Ugh, we want to stay away from that. Oh, thank you, Andrea. Ding, ding, ding. 100 stars. And Roz, another 100 stars. Oh, thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Stars are a way of giving a little bit to the financially to the broadcast. Kelly said, no past work situations. No. Yeah, make it stop. Now, the next day on Thursday of this week, so you can see there's a lot of like boom, 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 boom. On Thursday, we have the second chance new moon. Now, pay attention, because that is going to be, speaking of mutables, in Sagittarius. So the sun right now at that time of you know, on Thursday is going to be, not right now, but on Thursday is going to be in Virgo. So it's going to be squaring the moon in Sagittarius. Now, this is the second chance new moon. It's going to be taking place at 1 degree Sagittarius, 1 degree Virgo, 1 degree Sagittarius. And that is basically helping us to reevaluate, what are we doing here? We planted the new seeds. We're halfway between the new moon and the full moon. We planted the new seeds for the new beginnings, the fresh start, okay, that we are doing. And that is happened last week during the micro new moon in Leo. That was on August 16th. And then the next full moon is coming. We have 2 full moons in August. It is the blue moon. So that's going to be, oh, thank you, Wendy. I appreciate it. And 50 stars. I love that. Let's see here. Somebody said, oh, yeah. Yes, for sure. I reschedule having my heat pump put in until after Mercury retrograde. Yes, that is a great thing to reschedule for sure. Yeah, you don't want to have like the electrician come out during Mercury retrograde or something. Now, if they're repairing or retweaking or refixing something that was already like worked on, that is a good time. That is a good time to have it. I know we're sort of playing here with semantics, but it is a good time to have repeat things done. Now, the reason why I say no surgeries is because usually whatever we do during Mercury retrograde has to be repeated and tweaked again. Well, you don't want to have surgery. So you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to have your body having to be retweaked. That is not good. So that's why I always say, if you can, just to put it off. And now if it's a medical emergency, you have to do what you have to do, and that is, you got to stick to the plan. But just know that there could be like tweaking that needs to be done. Now, on the same day, Thursday, of this new moon, and the second chance new moon, I call it the second chance new moon. It's the half moon, okay, in the sky, and it's called the first quarter lunar cycle, or the second quarter lunar cycle, or Gretchen, your friend Gretchen over here, calls it the second chance new moon, because we're continuing what we started during the new moon. That is coming to a peak ahead at 5:57 a.m. Eastern time. So if you forgot to write your new moon manifestation list, then you can do it on this day, on Thursday, after 6 a.m. Eastern time, 5:57 a.m. Eastern time. You can write the list then. If you forgot it and you're like, oh shoot, I forgot, I didn't write it, you can write it on that day. And so that's a second chance. It's in the mutables, Virgo and Sagittarius. I just told you that's a little bit of a challenging relationship with Virgo and Sagittarius. It's a little challenge. So during the second chance new moon, it is a little bit of a time where things could go awry, it's not necessarily negative. It's just that we basically have to reevaluate something, because if you think of the new moon, the farmer planted the seeds, and the full moon is when we harvest the seeds. So in between, we got to go, is it getting enough fertilizer, light, soil, all the steps? We have to just reevaluate. And we're reevaluating in the Virgo Sagittarius worlds. Now, are you hearing me? This is a lot of Virgo energy. So if you are Virgo, or even the opposite of Virgo is Pisces, you will be feeling this on either end, because you'll be getting like the opposition of it. Yes. Ashley said, looking forward to the second chance new moon in Sagittarius. I bet you are, because you're Sagittarius. That's awesome. Melinda said, when's Mercury retrograde over? Which is going to be over on September 15th. It starts on Wednesday, August 23rd, and September 15th, it is over at 4:21 p.m. And then give it a few days, just a couple days. It's a Friday, so maybe like the following week, if you have to do something, that would be fine. Okay, so the other big thing that's happening, gosh, there's so much stuff going on. So the other thing that's happening on Thursday, and again, when I say happening, I mean peaking on Thursday, but we're feeling this thing right now on Monday. Mars is forming a trine with Pluto. Ooh. So Mars is opposing Neptune on Tuesday, and then on Thursday forming a trine with Pluto. Now, people are going to go, but Gretchen, it's a trine. That's usually fun. Yes, traditional astrologers would say that. I am a little bit more of a modern astrologer in the aspect of you have to look at the players. Trines do get along. So Mars, again, is in Virgo at the time of this thing happening, at the end of Virgo, and Pluto is at the end of Capricorn. Pluto's retrograde right now, too. So these two are both in earth signs, and positively, if we feel this in a positive way, this could be very good for physicality, for sexuality, for getting things done. I mean, this is the time to clean out the shed and start doing fall cleanup in the yard. It's all physical energy. It's not as much sitting behind a desk and type. It's getting out and moving. Like, you got a big pile of rocks you got to move from one end of the yard to the other end of the yard. This is the time to do that. Now, you don't want to go overboard, because this is also a time that we could go overboard, because we might think, I want to work out again. Somebody had Mercury retrograde in their area of physical, in their health care. Well, you got to watch that, because you could go overboard, like, I'm going to lift 50-pound weights, and you haven't even lifted really a paperclip in a while. So you want to be able to do that safely. So Mars is a lot of physicality, but here's the thing, this can also be quite aggressive energy. And the tipping point between the two is there's a fine tipping point between these two, of where it goes physical, I'm going to get things done, I'm going to slay dragons, into, and I'm going to bonk you over the head with my sword. I mean, this can be a little bit aggressive. This can be, I wouldn't be surprised if there's stuff on the news, violence, all kinds of stuff on the news. And so that can be a thing on Thursday. So it's not necessarily, like I said, trines are good, but Mars is ouchy and Pluto is ouchy, and those two are aligning with each other. You got to look at the players. I always tell people, look at the players and see what's going on, because Mars is the god of war and Pluto is the lord of the underworld. And they're playing well together. Okay, I don't know if that's a good thing. See what I'm saying? So that's, the peak of it is on Thursday, on August 24th, and the height of it is 8:23 p.m. So remember, we're in the zone now. We're walking up the mountain. You get to the top, that's the peak. And then when you come down the other side of the mountain, that's when it starts to release. So we are seeing so much issues with things going on right now. That's why I decided to bring my map. I haven't done this in a little while. I know that you guys might be curious, or people have been asking me, what in the heck is going on with the west coast of the United States? Anybody's guess? Anybody's guess? Okay. So I think when I show the map to you guys, it might be reversed. And I apologize for that because I printed out, it looks normal to me in the map, but when you guys see the map, it might look backwards. Holy wow. So this is the west coast of the U.S. This is California. Here's Hawaii. Poor Hawaii over here. And somebody guessed it right. Andrea, ding, ding, ding. She won the answer. Here is the Pluto line. Holy gosh. So Pluto is literally in between Hawaii and in between, okay, but look at all this energy. So Pluto is crisscrossing. So this green line here that Pluto is crisscrossing is actually Jupiter. And this is a lot of energy, because remember, Jupiter makes anything bigger that it touches. And look at poor Hawaii, and look at the poor, you know, we got a hurricane coming up here. We got, oh God, what was the name of the thing I just saw? It was a funny word. Hurricane, they called it, where there was a hurricane and an earthquake in Southern California all at the same time. Okay, so Southern California has some energy going through. Here's Venus, which is good. You know, that's usually good. But Venus is retrograde in Leo, a fire sign. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's now fires after the floods. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. And here is Uranus, is the pink line. Now, what do you guys hear me talk about Uranus all the time? And look, there's 2 points. I'm going to just circle this so you can really see. There's 2 points where Pluto is crisscrossing Uranus and Jupiter. Okay, the Jupiter line. Jupiter makes everything bigger. Uranus is earthquakes, shakeups, unexpected events. And then poor Hawaii is over here. So, I mean, it's all in this zone. There's just in between these areas, there's just tons. This is the moon, so we're feeling really upset and sad next to Hawaii right now. That's like we're feeling our emotions with Hawaii. But look at all this stuff going on. I mean, there's just so many layers around the west coast of the United States. It's even going all the way up into like British Columbia, Canada. The Uranus line here is going up all the way north like that. So we have just so much. Yes, even Canadian fires are along the Pluto line, right? Right. Look at all the Canadian, that's going across the Pluto line here all the way up into the Canadian fires. So I always tell people, anytime Pluto, and now obviously millions of people can't move from these locations, but Pluto has been there for a long time, like hovering off the west coast. And I predicted this many years ago that it was just going to be kind of a poop show, you know? I mean, it was not going to be fun at all. And that there's so much energy going across these locations out in the west coast. And yes, it even goes all the way kind of inland into like Colorado. There's Saturn line and some other lines going in, but you can see these are really some hot points. When Pluto is crisscrossing with these lines, it's just enhancing or making bigger or exacerbating the Pluto situation. And Pluto is kind of like death and destruction. I hate to say that. It's Phoenix rising, but think about, you know, the archetype of Phoenix is burn that down, you know, and then something rises up out of it, something new. But it has to be burned down first. And people, I don't know, there's this like, a lot of people want to make that like sort of sexy, like, oh, it's Phoenix rising. It's like, are you forgetting that it's just burning something down first though? And a lot of times with Pluto, I do see a lot of fire situations. So yes, prayers are going out to everybody, like Hawaii, California, all of the people going to be affected by this. I mean, this is a lot of energy. Yes, we've been praying for rain. Sometimes, you know, we're manifesting rain. A lot of people are manifesting rain, and then all of a sudden it hit all at one time. Sometimes that happens, like the floodgates open and then it comes down. Like it's like 3 years worth of rain are coming into this location at the same time. So, I mean, we got a lot of stuff going on there. So yeah, I just wanted to show everybody what's going on in the astrology world with the map, because the map is so tactile and you can really just see like, oh my gosh, like these are called the geodetic lines, where the lines, the planetary influence, and they wrap around the earth, just so that you know. So it's not, this is not just affecting the US, but you can see where it is just affecting the US here with these crisscrosses, and poor Hawaii's like kind of in the crosshairs of all this stuff. So my goodness. So I wanted to show you guys that. And yeah, I would definitely not want to be living along these lines for sure. It is finally kind of touching sort of north, a little bit north of Seattle. Like Pluto is finally starting to kind of come inland a little bit here. But remember, these lines also have hundreds of miles on each side where these lines affect. So we're talking about large scale areas. And that is something that we got going on. But I was talking about Pluto, Mars, Trine Pluto on Thursday. And yes, there is a lot of political stuff happening on Friday. Donald Trump is reporting. I haven't talked about him in a while, just because I was getting away from, people were starting to think I was like a political astrologer, and I really wasn't. I can just read anybody's chart. I mean, that's kind of the fun thing, but that's not it's not a specialty of mine, doing politics. But I will say this, Donald Trump is in his legal cycle right now in his chart, and he's also in a health cycle right now, a pretty bad health cycle. Nobody has talked about any health thing with him yet. I mean, there's always speculation. People always speculate about people, but wow. So that is going on Friday, and yeah, so that's the tail end of some of this week, you know, with that. Now, it's not over. We get a little bit of a break Friday, Saturday from these peak things happening, but remember, these energies are not dissipating. On Sunday, August 27th, we have a big thing going on. So we have two big things. We have Mars, the god of war, is now leaving Virgo. So remember, all this week it's like it's opposing Neptune, and it's trining Pluto, and then it's like, peace out, I'm done. So it's like kind of like working us out in Virgo, and then it's like leaving and going into Libra on Sunday, and that's happening at 9:20 a.m. Eastern time. Mars will be in Libra between August 27th until October 12th. Now, if you think about Mars as our drive, our ambition, our motivation, our get it done, like let's go, and then it's moving into Libra, which is relationships, balance, fairness, beauty, make everything, okay, that's a little bit aggressive into the, you know, now the good news is Mars is passionate, Mars is sexual, Mars is get it done, you know, motivated and all that, but Libra's supposed to be like, let's make everything nice, you know. And these two are a little bit incompatible. You know, Mars being in Libra is a little bit weird. But it's about us wanting to really work on our relationships. Now, we already have Venus is retrograde, so we're already trying to work on relationships. And now Mars is pushing us even more to work on relationships. So we got a long Mars in relationships. Libra is an air sign, and Libra is also a cardinal sign. Yes, Libra can be judicial as well. Sorry, I can't say that word right now. Judicial, yes, and that is our United States justice system. I will say, I'll have to look this up. I'll have to look this up before I say it. I don't want to say it. But I think there was a big political thing that happened when Mars went into Libra the last time, which was 2 years ago. Mars is only in Libra once every 2 years. So if you are Libra, if you're an Aries and Libra, we're going to be feeling this because, by the way, Aries ruler is Mars. And now the ruler is going to be in Mars's opposite sign, if you will. So if that's going to be a little wonky. Mars in Libra is always a little wonky. When I fell down the stairs 2 years ago and broke my legs, that was when Mars went into Libra. Right when that happened, that was because I'm in Aries, and that was a stress point for me. I am going to be very careful, okay? During this, I was looking at that on my calendar. I'm like, okay, I am going to be very careful this time around. And so that is going to be happening. Mars going to be in Libra, and it's something balance, fairness, justice, beauty, getting along, mediation. Okay, let's try to see, make it work. And that is a thing. Yeah. Somebody said, wow. Yeah. I mean, it is something, Kate, that, you know, we all have little sticky points in our chart. And that's why when I talk about these planetary things, I like to mention the different signs that it's going to be really in the heart of feeling. Now, Capricorns and Cancers could feel this too, because you're also a cardinal sign as well. And definitely other air signs, Gemini or Aquarius, you guys could get a pick-me-up from that. But it'll stress us Aries out, for sure. So that's something that could be going on. But remember, this is just energy. Mars is just energy, even though it is a little sometimes associated with aggressive or contentious energy. It is just energy, and we just have to flow and let that get out. And so we're really trying to work towards our balance, our fairness, our justice, our beauty, all the different things going on. Thank you, Wendy. Wendy said, put a white bubble protection around me now. Thank you. Yes, exactly. Oh, you got some kitty cats are watching me too. That's so funny. I actually have a picture a client sent to me. I'm going to have to I'll put it up one of these days. Of the cat was actually watching the broadcast on the person's cell phone. It was so cute. Yes, a lot of people are commenting here. Phoenix rising is not sexy. You've had that archetypal journey for 4 years. You really have, Jen. It's been unbelievable. Jen, for you, I think it'll be really good when Pluto gets out of Capricorn for sure, like finally. Because Pluto has been in Capricorn since like almost 2007 or 8. I can't remember, but it's a long time. Pluto's been in Capricorn forever. So we want to get Pluto out of Capricorn. Pluto is going into Aquarius, and I'm sorry, that is the next phase, but most Capricorns are like, I am done. You can have him. You can have Mr. Pluto now. I am done. So, okay, so we have Mars on Sunday going into Libra, balance, fairness, beauty, justice, blah, blah, blah. Okay, Sunday morning. So really over between Saturday and Sunday, we have a dualistic event. I'm saying dualistic because not only is it an astrological event, but this is also an astronomical interest as well. These are all astronomical interests, but this one especially. And it's when the sun, now remember, is in Virgo, is going to be opposing Saturn in the sky. This is actually going to be, the Saturn opposition is going to be visible with the naked eye on that night. That's why I'm saying it's a sky watcher event, really. It's like a thing that we can see. We'll be able to see Saturn with the naked. It might look like a little star or something, but we'll be able to see it without a telescope, in other words. And so, yay, that'll be fun. But Sun opposing Saturn is not fun. Sun is in Virgo. Saturn retrograde is in Pisces. Gosh, how many times can I say Virgo and Pisces in this week? I mean, it is too much. It is too much. It's a lot. So Virgos and Pisces, heads up, this is your week that you want to maybe wrap yourself in bubble wrap, like before you go out, and kind of just, say prayers of protection, and just take really good care of yourself, ground yourself, eat well, take naps. This is not the time. This week is not your week to slay dragons. It's not the week to go on a crazy, sort of expedition there. So Sun opposing Saturn happens once every year. Wherever Saturn is, their Sun can oppose it. And Saturn is obstacles, delays, life lessons, difficulties, issues. And for sure, it's something that we have to learn. And for sure, it's something that we need to sort of work on in our lives. Saturn's our spiritual work. Sometimes Saturn is even our literal work, but it's definitely our spiritual work. And so having Saturn and the Sun opposing each other is a little bit of a showdown of masculine energies. Now, it depends on where this is occurring in your chart, and it also depends on what signs, if it's interacting with anything, because some people, you might not even feel this, and other people, you will be right up on you. Okay, so it's something that you got to kind of keep in mind. This is not the time to have a big relationship talk, by the way. This is not the time to have a political debate with your next door neighbor. This is not the time to do those types of things. We want to make things permanent with Saturn. Saturn wants a permanence, wants commitment. Why did you not ask me to marry you? I've been dating you for 7 years. What is wrong with you? This is not the time to bring all of that up. Just be warned, it's not the time. So there's going to be a lot of contention with this Saturn thing. And yeah, that could even be an earthquake too with Saturn sometimes. Uranus is usually more earthquakes, but remember the next day on Monday, Uranus is going retrograde. So I just got a hit on that there could be even more earthquake activity. And we know the Uranus line is right off the west coast, so that could be another hurricane. I've never heard that word before. I just read it today that said hurricane. I was like, what is that? But obviously it's a hurricane and an earthquake combined. So yeah. So we have that happening on Sunday. Now this could also be somebody that's older than us, a parent, somebody who's in charge, a boss, somebody who's an authoritative. Saturn's all those people. Saturn is also the dads. Now, we talked a lot last week about the moms. Remember, I was talking a lot about the mom energy last week? Well, this week is the dad energy with Big Daddy Saturn. Saturn's the dads. Saturn is a male who's older. It doesn't have to be your dad. That could even be your husband, like an older guy. He's like, if you're married and you're a little older and they're a little older, whatever. Saturn is daddy energy. But or it can be problems with males, that's kind of the deal. Usually it's somebody, now if you're 16 and the man who's older is 18, that's still somebody older, you see. So sometimes Saturn's older, wiser, an authoritative figure, whatever it is. So, and it has to be in relation to you, not me. It's you. So I'm just trying to let you know, so that you can kind of be prepared if you have to deal with a dad, a granddad, a great-great-granddad, whatever kind of thing, a boss or a supervisor, whoever. That that you need to, because the dads are getting stressed out this weekend, okay? This is the opposite of Father's Day, okay? Just saying. So that is going to be also in effect, and that the peak or the height of it is going to be coming on Sunday, but really remember, it's this whole weekend. We're feeling these Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now, again, we were talking about Donald Trump. That could even affect him on Friday. August 25th, because I think he's reporting on that day. So see, he's an older male that is getting affected, that a lot of people looked up to, and so that's something that's happening. So yeah, so this is like harsh energy for real. Yes, Saturn in your 10th house, a lot of legacy. Yes, please work on your book. Please work on your book. Yeah, so Till, I think I answered that about when this is, but that's coming on Sunday. The peak or the height of it is 4:28 a.m. Eastern time on Sunday. And like I said, 1:28 a.m. I guess if you're on the West Coast, you'll be feeling that overnight. But see, that's highlighting Saturn. The Sun and Saturn opposition is always a sticky point. Whenever that happens, again, once every 2 years, it's always a little bit of a sticky point. And that's this week in astrology. So, this week is interesting. I'm just going to do a quick recap because I feel like with this week, and I'm going to answer questions if anybody wants to ask. I'm only going to answer one or two because this broadcast went a little longer than expected, but that's because there's been so much going on. This week, we have so much happening, and I like to tell you guys so you're not feeling like you're crazy, you're losing it, why me? No, it's because the planets are really acting up. So remember, we start the week strong with this Sun aligning with the North Node of the Moon to remind us, even in the midst of all this junk, this hard stuff, to stay aligned to their hopes, goals, and dreams. Don't let that die out just because things are difficult. So if you have to try, again, you will succeed, but you have to keep trying. That's what this is saying. It doesn't mean it's easy and rainbows and unicorns. It means you got to keep trying. We have that sleepy, creative Tuesday on the 22nd with Mars and Neptune and Venus and Jupiter. And then on Wednesday, we have the start of Virgo season, and we are full on in Virgo, 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 and then Mercury retrograde in Virgo on Wednesday. On Thursday, we have the second chance new moon, but then we have that weird Mars Pluto thing, which could also give us a lot of energy that we can slay dragons to get things done, but also could be a little contentious, a little argumentative, and a little wonky. Then on Sunday, we have Mars moving into relationship zone, Libra, okay, where we have to really figure out life and balance and fairness and beauty and all that. And by the way, balance, who has that? I mean, a lot of people don't. So we have to work toward that ever elusive work-life balance, right? I mean, that's something we have to juggle things. And then also on Sunday, we have that Sun opposing Saturn, which can make things difficult and can bring up some life lessons. It can bring up some daddy issues. It can bring up all kinds of things like that. And fathers, if you're watching the broadcast, hopefully if some dads watch the broadcast, that you might have a rough weekend, rough weekend with the kids, or just, difficulty getting things done. That's the thing. So we have to have patience. We have to have flexibility. And this is not the time, like I said, to jump into the fray, even though you might want to. You might want to jump into the fray, like, I gotta explain my position. No, you don't. Step away from explaining your position. This is really the time to kind of just let things just be and just kind of go off, go rake the lawn. Like I said, work out. Do something productive. Look, it's Mercury retrograde. This is the time to Marie Kondo our life. Or I have a new girl, lady that I really love. Speaking of Marie Kondo, is Cass, C-A-S-S, from Clutterbug, and she has a show on HGTV called Hot Mess Time or Hot Mess House, and basically it's all about learning your organizational style and going through, and I'm feeling that in Virgo. By the way, Virgo, I should mention, is the intestines. It's our digestive. So I know a bunch of clients have been contacting me lately. Their digestive's pretty off. And so that is something. Yes, Hot Mess House, Andrea. It's a great show. If you guys have HGTV or Discovery Plus, it's on there. But I love Cass from Clutterbug. She's super just approachable and nice. And she explains like what your organizational style is. And I think it's pretty fun. Yes. Oh, Ashley said, thought it was Sunday. Remember, though, these events go all, so it's going to start, we're going to start feeling that Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It is Sunday. I don't know if I said Saturday. The Sun opposing Saturn is Sunday early. So it's Saturday night into Sunday. Cecilia, oh, welcome, Virgo. Yeah, so, yes, Wendy, maybe you'll sell a beautiful, if anybody hasn't seen, Wendy has a beautiful, Wendy, if you want to put in the show notes here, if you want to put a link to your Facebook page with your wares, Sunday, that you make, she makes like handmade purses and all kinds of beautiful jewelry and things like that, so, yay! All right, Wendy, this one's for you. How's it gonna go for you? That you have some vending going on. How? By the way, Wendy, we talked a while ago about shifting your perspective and allowing things to kind of come in. And so, has it been more fruitful and financially okay? I remember we were talking about that, Wendy, if anybody. Oh, yes, you're going to be having new products coming. That's great. Oh my God, Wendy, look at this. And this might be for some other people who are asking similar things. Share your art with the world, Wendy. Look at that. It's time to allow others to enjoy your creative work. You keep getting more and more, you keep getting cards like that. So I do feel that that this is a good time for you financially. Will Scorpios have a quiet week? I wouldn't say anybody's having a quiet week because your ruling planet Pluto is activated on Thursday, Kate. So you might be feeling it. Yeah, the ruling planet of see, I keep feeling this. Try again, you will succeed. I think that's what this week is about. It's gonna be a little bit frustrating. I think it's gonna be frustrating for everybody. So like, it's like kind of like if you have to do something, you might have to redo it and then redo it again and like revise it and do that kind of thing. But I do think that it's going to be good. It doesn't. See this North Node of the Moon thing's like, don't give up. It's like that Kate Bush song. Please don't give up. You know, I mean, it's you know. You don't want to give up. Okay. Somebody else post anything here. What's going on Saturday? Saturday is mirroring much of these. So Saturday really is mirroring the Mars Neptune thing, and is also going to start activating the Sun Saturn thing. So that's sometimes on the quiet days. That's what's happening, is the moon is highlighting some of these bigger planetary things. So it is a little bit quieter, quote unquote, but it's still activating some of this other energy. So we have some creative energy, but then we still have some obstacles. Saturn is obstacles, delays, life lessons. You know, I mean, Saturn is a pain in the, you know what, Big Daddy Saturn, you know, he's there to school us. Just how it goes. Okay. All right. So I think that's it. So I am going to, pull a card here. What do we need to know? What does everybody need to know about this energy? We have a lot of energy. Thank you, by the way, everybody, for the stars during the program. If you want a personalized astrological session with me, please feel free to reach out through either text message is great, or DM. I have my phone number on. I know it's kind of dumb, but I have my phone number online. You can text me if you want to have a Wendy Martin, yeah, you want to put the Facebook link on the show notes so people can go and check out your wares. I'm fine with that if you want to do that. Yeah, Ashley, we don't want your dad to show up at the event either, right? So Till said thank you. Okay, so I'm going to pull a card. What do we need to know? What do the angels, the spirit guides, our guardians need us to know about getting through? Because it's almost like we're swimming across the ocean, and we're getting around the beluga, you know, the killer whales, and we're hopefully trying to swim with the dolphins. Oops, and now there's some sharks and some jellyfish, and we're like, I feel like that's what this week is a little bit like. So what do we need to know? How can we navigate this the best use possible? Just be yourself, okay? Authenticity, be yourself, okay? I'm going to read this message to everybody. Oh no, I just lost my recording on YouTube. See? All right, well, there you go. All right, so be yourself, trust in your real self, whom God created divinely perfect, has the strength and knowledge needed for this situation. Okay? So, see, be yourself and know that you can get... We've been getting through all these types of astrological events since we were born. These types of, weeks, months, years happen. And so sometimes we have to just know that we're going to be getting through that. And so what do we need to know? We need to be authentic. We need to be real. Look, if we find, ourselves in the middle of something, and we know we can deal with it. We can deal with it because we can believe in ourselves, and that's authenticity, is believing in our real self, not playing games or whatever. It's like sometimes it takes grit to get through these things, and that's what we need a little bit right now, some grit. So I hope that helps. Oh no, Cecilia said we're having a heat spell in Kansas City, Missouri. We will send you lots of love around that. I hope that is okay for you. Yeah, life jacket and good vibes and a protective white light bubble around us for sure. So if you'd like to have a personalized astrological session, please feel free to contact me. And please, 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 if you haven't done already, I appreciate you so much if you can If you can subscribe to my channel over on YouTube, you guys are awesome. Yes, spend time in nature. I love this. I love this. So anyway, love to you all. I'm keeping it real. I'm being authentic myself. I just lost my video on YouTube. Hopefully I can get it back. So I love all you guys. Namaste. Deep breath, patience, and I'll see you next week.